Hit has probably been one of the more famous characters from Universe 6. I think a lot of people, he stands out as one of the characters that like, yeah, let's root for him, let's go to Hit. And we go against one of the most hyped up characters to this arc as well, Jiren, and finally get to see these two clash. And boy oh boy, it's there's some good and there's some very mixed feelings with this episode as well from my point. So one thing I kind of want to address is like immediately we knew straight up that we were not going to have that animation that we had from the like 1 hour special. I think that was physically impossible. So I think like a little bit that's kind of like our fault to blame, where it's like it kind of looks a little bit stiff here and there. It's like compared to what they were working up on like with the past hour. So I will say, if anything, I think a lot of it, how I felt a little bit to this episode might have been that I felt like a lot of the animation in this one kind of looked very lackluster. Like I felt like some of the fights didn't look really stiff like through this one, but then again, all that's like how it's going. And now like reviewing this weekly as well, I can kind of see as well how people are going with a lot of the episodes, since to me it was like, it don't matter, episode to episode to episode, let's go in straight up. So I will say that, but then again, this is Jiren and also as well Hit that we're talking about here. Also, FYI, I do love that this like fight did involve one single drop kick in it, so already you're raising points in my book there. But like the fact that Hit didn't give a shit, he wanted to take out Jiren. He was like, we need to do this, like we need to take this guy out. And I kind of respected Jiren for the most part, where he even stated that this is one of the only few people left on apart from Goku that he wanted to fight. He like squared them up at the start of the tournament immediately, and he was like, you know what? Out of the two people here that thought that like actually give me a slight challenge, I think it might be some of these two. I still think there's some like stronger people. Like I think like if anything like that might be saying something immediately that one, Frieza is clearly not on that level yet. Because, like, from what we've seen for a lot of the people in this tournament, we've seen Jiren already handle, like, you know, people like, what we've seen with, like, Kale and a bunch of those characters, where we're seeing kind of the higher power levels, and it's like, that's the top of the top from what we see. Like, apart from that, like I say, the next higher fighters are probably out Jiren's own team from what we get to see. And the fact of the matter is, like, how he ended this fight by getting extremely cocky and just covering himself in a wall of his own energy, where it's like, there's nothing else I have to do here, and yeah, I can just let like Toppo just deal with the rest of this, like, because the rest of these guys are asses, like, especially now that Goku can't do the Ultra Instinct from what it seems to be. And definitely as well, when we're talking about Goku, I want to say, like, we was left on that cliffhanger with Frieza, what we got to see with last week. I was a little bit upset. I was like, I wanted Frieza to be a little bit more of the scumbag. And, like, to be fair, like, I still think it would have been, we knew he wasn't going to shoot him square in the face, but that would have been, like, like a heel turn immediately if, like, someone else came in and, like, kicks Frieza out of there, like if it was Gohan or Piccolo that stopped him. That would have been kind of interesting, but funny enough, to get him back straight up immediately from, like, they're on the brink of just defeat and just no energy. Like, Frieza just shared quite a bit of his energy with him. He's clearly relying, and he still has plans for Goku, like, left in this tournament. He knows that, like, if anything, he's gonna need him and all that for the rest of this tournament for them to survive. So, in his own way, he's gonna accept that, but you still know he's still got some ulterior motive alongside throughout this entire fight. Not to mention as well, we saw a tiny bit of Vegeta versus, like, the Sailor Moon chicks, like Ribane, I believe their name is. Like, and he was fighting them for a little while, and then that got, like, immediately interrupted, and, like, for the most part, like, that's been, like, hyped up for, like, since the start of, like, the opening and all that, so I'm wondering if that's going to be any more interesting. So far and all that, I feel like Vegeta and all that are kind of, like, out of all the other opponents he's had, I feel like he hasn't had a real shot at any other characters so far. I think it would be interesting if he did try his hands at Jiren, but, like, even, like, the fact that if, like, he's even saying that, like, at that point and all that, like, Vegeta and nothing, like, at that point, that's kind of really sad to see. It kind of, like, a way to shit on a lot of the characters right there. But then again, Jiren, like that, he was still having, like, going toe-to-toe with Goku in Ultra Instinct. Not to mention as well, Gohan and Piccolo finally have some new fights as well. They're going against two Namekian fuckers, which, yeah, that will be interesting. And they're like, oh shit, you're a Namekian, and just Piccolo just don't care. He's like, he just smiling. He's like, alright, let's roll. I'll take these guys on. So maybe it might be like, I feel like Piccolo and Gohan have, like, like, apart from, like, maybe the one episode that, like, Gohan really had with Frost, I feel like Piccolo's done nothing in this tournament so far, like, apart from getting his arm shot off. So I'm really hoping that this might be something for him, but the next week's episode list is showing the fact that it's going to be like a Vegeta and Kabe episode, so we'll look forward to that. But like the whole meat of the potatoes though, like Hit versus Jiren, I gotta say, like, for what we gotta see, like their whole idea, what they were trying to do is that Hit knew after a while he just couldn't beat him, especially after he got hit by like his own like techniques, and like even when he was trying to use the time stop, trying to like find ways to like see if there was an opening for Jiren. He ended up just using like one of his trump cards, which is hitting like what we can see Jiren right in the chest and actually like stopping time on himself, creating a sort of time barrier around him so he couldn't move. But clearly to the laws of Jiren, time doesn't matter. There's the part of me where it's like, that's not how time and fucking space work. But okay, like you can't just like suddenly use strength to beat like time itself. Time just stops. That's the end of that's the end of the discussion there. If time was ever to stop, there would be no, I can't fight that back. You wouldn't have the reaction to like, you would have no sense at all. But fuck it, it's an anime at the end of the day, and it's fucking super. So don't try and get too like into it. But the fact that he was holding this off, and I kind of appreciate that this was a challenge slightly for Jiren, where he was like, alright, let's keep pushing that. He's slowly moving like through, and like just the way that Hit got like just taken out immediately, it was like he was trying to hold on for a while, and he was like, he's even shown as well in the episode, which was probably like a nice little thing to Hit, is shown that he's grown a lot as a character, where he's like actually relying on his other, like he's relying on the Saiyans right now. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna leave this Snorlax to Kaba, I'm gonna leave this to like Kale, Cauliflower, like I need to like take care of these other guys while I do this, because their whole plan was like, we take out the head honcho and we just run the timeout, because we're halfway through like the tournament already, where it's like, I can, like they were expecting that maybe I can hold this guy out for most of the tournament. This will give Universe 6 the advantage, and it's like, oh, Goku's out, so we may have the chance now. Like that was the thing where they were going from it, and it's like, I feel like at the same time it's a shame that kind of like Hit got taken out in that way, but at the same time it's like, it was an opponent where I kind of like, yeah, it's Jiren at the end of the day. It's been been souped up, and it's been like all hyped up and all that, especially for the last two episodes that we had. I kind of, if anything, I kind of wish it was a little bit longer, to be fair. I kind of wish we had another episode on them, but no. Next week, going to be focusing on Vegeta and Kaba, and seemingly Frost, like, after all that, like, you know, Frieza is going to be involved, so whether or not, like, you know, there's going to be something interesting happening there with Kaba, or, like, Frieza, I really hope Frieza doesn't get eliminated by Kaba. That would be fucking shitty if that's the case and all that. Like, I don't know, so I'm not looking forward too much to next week, because I don't care too much to Kabas. But even so, this was an alright episode, but it was definitely, like, I would say lackluster compared to last week's. But that's kind of understandable, like, in a way where it's like, yeah, it didn't have that big, like, souped up special animation to it, so at the same time, I kind of do understand that. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What did you think about, like, Hit versus Jiren at the end and all that? Do you think this was, like, a hyped up fight? Do you think you really enjoyed it? I'm curious to see what you thought. It's all from me, though, so thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you guys, though, next time.